my name is Christina. I'm from America. So my name is Christina. I'm from America, from the state of Virginia. It's East Coast, close to Washington, D.C. And throughout my childhood, I've been traveling a lot because my dad was a diplomat, which is a gaigokang, and we traveled to many different countries. So I think because of that, when I came to live in Tokyo, it wasn't very shocking. And I'm kind of easy to talk to any kind of person because I've met all different kinds of people. And I can speak fluent English, and I can speak maybe up to high school level of Thai because my mom is Thai and we speak Thai together, or I speak Thai with my cousins who their English is like so-so. And I can speak a little bit of Spanish, and then I can speak Japanese, maybe N4 or N3 level, which is like conversation, just pechakucha level. In America, I was a dog trainer and a graphic designer, and I worked freelance. So I would kind of do short jobs for 1 or 2 months with different companies. So I think because of that, I'm kind of flexible and kind of dynamic and kind of artistic and love animals and things like that. I think that's why I'm kind of easy to talk to. So I've been living in Japan for about 3 years or so. So the first time I came to Japan was in 2014. I came there for a birthday present. So I came in September. Pretty much the first thing I thought was like, it is really hot and really, really humid for September. Because in Virginia, it's kind of dry and cool, and it's like autumn, you know, not humid autumn. That was the first thing I thought. But I stayed in Japan for about 14 days, so a 2-week trip to Kyoto, Osaka, and Tokyo. And the day I had to leave, I actually started crying. I like broke down crying because I wanted to stay longer. And from then I decided, when I came back to America, I'm like, oh, America, I want to be in Japan. And then I started working super hard and planning and studying a little bit hiragana, katakana on my own. And finally, I was like, okay, 3 years later, not 4, 3 years later, I can live in Japan now. Because of my traveling and my good first impressions of Japan, I decided to live here. So when I first came to Japan, I was a Japanese language student. I was learning Japanese, and I had many different kinds of teachers. Most of them were kind of, serious, very traditional, normal, no playing around teacher. But then I had one teacher who was kind of like me. She was very like funny and like outgoing and would make jokes and stuff. And I realized like you can actually learn a language and enjoy it. It's not just, learning how to pronounce, learning how to do it, saying very boring sentences. It can be fun. It can be like, joking around or learning idioms, things like that. Because I realized like, oh, it can be fun. I wanted to kind of, give back to Japan or give back to people who are like my Japanese language teacher and teach English to Japanese students and make it fun. And it's kind of the main thing I kind of strive for in my lessons is I don't want you to go home feeling tired or feeling bored or feeling disappointed. I want you to go home being like, oh, that was really fun. I want to have another lesson. I want to learn more English. I want to speak more English. So I hope to become the kind of teacher that makes you interested in English again. Yeah, pretty much my students being happy when they leave and feeling like they didn't waste their time, like they spent their time having fun and learning at the same time, and that they accomplished things. That makes me most satisfied knowing that, this time I spent with my students was like a good time, not just study time or cram school time or something. I guess having fun. Yeah, like enjoying what you do. I think that's important. So I teach at Gotanda on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and Shinjuku South on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Wide range of students. Sometimes I have like oba-chan, oji-chan, or I have housewives, or I'll have some businessmen or businesswomen, many college students, or especially in Shinjuku South, a lot of them are kind of young adults who are going to go shopping afterwards. And then Gotanda has many business people. They just finished work and they're like, oh, you know, I'm tired. I'm going to go chat with Christina. So I guess for a beginner level student, we'll have maybe a short level or short free conversation, maybe about 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Usually it's like American tradition to be like, hey, how are you? How was your day? So it'll become like that. That'll be the beginning. If they have a textbook, we'll start with the textbook after that. And then maybe right before the end, we'll review really quick. So we'll be, oh, we talked about this, we talked about that. As the levels get higher, we'll use less book and more free conversation. Unless they only want to use the book. Then it's just, hey, how are you? I'm good. And you? I'm good. Okay, last lesson we did page nantoka nantoka. But some students, like many of my oba-chan, oji-chan, they just only want to do free conversation for like natural conversation. So I think English Village is the best choice for studying English because every teacher is unique. We're not forced to do lessons a certain way. Like some schools, like one I used to work at, it was like set. You must do 30 minutes free conversation, 30 minutes book, done. No extra stuff, no grammar questions, no checking emails and correcting them. But in English Village, anybody can have any kind of lesson they want. So if you don't want to use a book, you don't have to. If you want to have free conversation, you can for the whole time. If you just want to ask some questions, you know, go, oh, here's a grammar point. I don't understand. Please teach me. You can. Where other schools, you can't do that. So it's very flexible and very fair to both the teacher and the student. And also teachers are very diverse. We have some of them who have like British accent. Some of them have Australian accent. Some of them, like me, have Virginia accent. We're all unique, just like the students. We have the English idiom, use it or lose it, meaning you must use what you have learned or use what you have gained, or you can lose it. So I believe like the most important thing about learning English isn't only learning new things and things like that. The most important is to remember what you've learned, remember what you did at your lesson, or remember what you gained during your lesson. When I first came to Japan and I studied Japanese, we had a lesson that was just like, oh, 素敵なカバンですね, 素敵なジャケットですね, 素敵な, dressですね. And on my way home, I would look at, somebody and she would have a nice dress. And I would think to myself, 素敵なドレスですね. Or 素敵な緑ドレスですね. I remembered it because I used it after learning it. And I think using what you've learned is the most important way and the best way to remember what you've learned. Because one big thing is people forget what they learned or they become rusty because they don't practice. And you need to practice. You need to remember. Because if you forget, why were you here? So I guess thank you so much for choosing this video and listening to my interview. And I hope it makes you interested to join English Village or continue studying in English Village or joining me. Thank you all.